So in this session, we are going to cover how to create EC2 instance. Okay. So first of all, we have to log into our AWS. So for logging into AWS, there are multiple ways. One is via root user, one is via IAM user. Okay. So if you have created new account, okay, new AWS account, then you will log in via root user. But with that root user you can create multiple users, okay, and then you can provide specific permissions to those IAM users, and then you can log in via this IAM user. So I'm going to log in via this IAM user. I will tell you about this IAM later on, what this IAM is, how these policies we manage. Now I'm going to log in. So this is my account key. These keys will be provided you by someone who has created that root user. If you are the owner of your account, then you will get those keys whenever you create the account. Okay. This is the username and this is the password. So these are being created when you create the IAM user. So I'm now logged into AWS. So this is how AWS looks like. If you see somewhere these access denied part on screen, it is like you don't have permission to see that part. So here I don't have permissions to see this billing part. Okay, I can't see current month, first and other things. With root user, you can see everything.
Okay.
Now today we have to create that virtual machine, that EC2 instance, and we will see how we can connect to it, how and like how can we create it and other things. So if you see currently here, I don't have any instance. So to first of all, simply here, go to EC2. Here, like if you have some instance, then it will show you this page. But as we don't have any instance in our account, that's why it is showing this page where it is asking us to like launch an instance. Here, I'm going to launch an instance. So now see what all details we need to provide. In name and tags, we have to provide the name of our EC2 which we are going to create, and then we can add tags like basically name tag is for name, and then we can add other tags as well, like environment, for which environment you are going to use, you can give a new tag env and then provide value dev, and like multiple things. But for now I'm just going to use name part, and I'm giving this name as tutorial. Okay, this EC2 name will be tutorial EC2, anything like that. Here we have to select the operating system. Okay, operating system for our EC2 machine. So we have multiple operating systems available, and basically those are available in the form of Amazon machine image. So machine image is like what type of machine you want. Okay, so if you see we have these many, like these are the general ones, and if you see thousands of application and OS images are there, so you can choose among any. So let's suppose you want some machine with Nginx. So if you search for Nginx there, okay, for Nginx I can't see any machine, but yeah, if you see like for deep learning, so these machines will have these inbuilt like deep learning and these models. So it is like these all machines are there, but we need to use the basic one. Okay, we just need either Ubuntu or Windows one or Amazon Linux. So Amazon Linux is one flavor of Linux, Ubuntu is another flavor, Red Hat is another flavor, SUSE Linux is another flavor, Debian is another flavor. So I'm going to use Ubuntu. I selected it here. If you see, there are multiple versions of Ubuntu as well, right? Like we have 22, we have 24, we have 16, 18. So all will be visible here. Which one you want to use? I'm going to use 24.04. Here we have to select the architecture, whether you want ARM or you want x86. So I'm going to use this basic architecture for this machine. Now these are the details. So this is the description for this machine, for this Ubuntu server which you just set up. Ubuntu server 24.04 LTS means long time support. EBS general, this is the, like, it contains SSD volume, and you can, for support you can check here, you can go there and read about it more. Now the username will be Ubuntu. These are default usernames. Like this will be the admin user which will be created along with this machine. Now it comes to the instance type. So instance type is like what type of instance you need. Type of instance means how much resources you need. So these are defined like these namings. T2.micro. What T2.micro will contain 1V CPU, 1 GB memory. Okay. 1V CPU means 1000 millicore of CPU. Similarly, T2.nano, 1V CPU, zero point 0.5 GB memory. And these all are the other details, like what will be the pricing for this machine. So it will be 0.058. These like on demand QC and on demand. So for Linux it is this, and Ubuntu Pro this is this, but we are using just Linux, so this will be the costing for us. Now if you see here, you can see free tier eligible. Okay, so free tier eligible means if you select this machine, you won't get charged until or unless you reach out 720 hours, okay, per year. So AWS generally provide free tier uh, credits like for 720 hours. So if you reach out that time, then it will start charging this much, Linux this much. Otherwise it won't charge anything for this machine specifically. For this machine means for this instance. Okay, so are you clear there? Like we have too many machines there. T2 dot small, it will be 1V CPU, 2 GB memory. Medium 2V CPU, 4 GB memory. Like T2 is the like older generation, while T3 is its newer generation. So T3 dot nano 2V CPU, 0.5 GB. So we have too many machines like C5. So these machines like T, C, R, these also denotes the type of machine. So these T, so these are the burstable machines. Okay, these can get burst like at any moment of time. These can get like these can become not in, not responsible. So not responsible means these are not responding for few seconds. It can happen, but yeah, these are bustable. So we have C5, we have so these are generally like C5, and we have P machines, P type generation as well, DEG. So these are like I3 metal ones. Okay, so these just depends how, what type of CPU or what type of architecture these devices are. But yeah, for general purpose you can go with T2, T3. Mm, okay, and then you can go for C if you need a stable one. M is there as well, M4X, and some type of these machines are there. These are stable ones as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
T series is the cheapest one.
Yeah, but brother, if we take the not the free tier one, then we need to pay for every hour.
Yeah, we need to pay for every hour, and it is
Okay.
like if you select any other machine, you will get a bill monthly. Okay, and it will be
Okay.
calculated on the basis of your resources whichever you have. Okay, now here it comes to key pair. Key pair is like the private key and the public key pair which will be generated for this machine, so that you can log into this machine. If you go to info to specify, okay, this doesn't provide any more details, but yeah. So it is like, it will, once you create here, okay, if let's suppose I create new key pair, so what it will do, let me provide tutorial key. So it will generate me PAM key. Like, in Windows we have one a tool named putty. So for that we can pull that ppk file, but in general we can use this with s4 ssh, we can use this PAM file. Okay, file name PAM. And then once I create it, what it will do, it have generated this private key and by end. So this is the private key, and it has added this public key for this. It will add public key for this private key inside this machine, so that once I try to log in, I will provide this is my private key, and it will match it with their public key, and we will be able to log in. Okay. Now, in network settings, hello, uh, can you hear me?
Your voice is breaking.
You are getting too much, like I'm getting too much noise, bro. Hello.
Is it okay, brother? Now?
Yeah. Can you hear me correct perfectly? Can you hear me perfectly?
Yes, brother, I can hear you now.
Okay. In network settings, we have to provide the details of our VPC, that is network basically. So right now I'm going to cover like default values, whatever are there. Okay. Later on, once we go to VPC, then you will know the purpose of VPC, and then you can use that specific VPC. But here, if you see, this is the ID of VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Currently, no preference is there for subnet. If I want to edit these things, I can simply click here. So currently I have one VPC in my account, that's why it is shown there only. I have these much subnets, so I can select any of them. But if I don't want to select, and I want to leave it to AWS to select any of them, I'm leaving just it as it is. Auto assign public IP. So it is like whether or not I want to allow a public IP to it. Now there it comes to security group. So security group is basically for firewall. In AWS, for firewall part, we use security group majorly, and security group is responsible for allowing the traffic. Okay. So let's suppose you want to allow this port access on your machine from any specific IP, then you can use security group. So here, if you see, we are creating new security group named this, and these are the rules. So we used to define rules inside security groups, and for this security group, I am defining the type of rule is SSH, protocol TCP. Like these are the default values for this type. Okay, port range is 22. So 22 port is for SSH basically. Okay, that's why it is defining it by default. So if I remove this rule, and if I don't provide any rule there, then I won't be able to log in. Why? Because I'm not allowing anyone to connect to this machine. You got my point?
Yes, brother, I got it.
So here I'm for source. So source is the IP address for which I need to allow. So SSH for port 22 I am allowing here from anywhere. So if I provide my IP there, so this is my IP. If I provide custom IP, I can provide any specific IP. If I provide this 0000, this means anywhere. Okay, we can provide description as well if we want. I'm not providing as of now. This is just for, like, let's suppose you created 10 rules, and you like there are 10 team members working, so everyone should know for what purpose this rule is created, so they will know after looking at this description. But yeah, so if you provide your IP there, then you will be the only person who will be able to log in. If you provide this 000, then everyone will be able to access. If you provide nothing there, like if you just if you remove this rule as well, then you won't be able to access the EC2 machine via SSH. Now it comes to storage, how much disk you need. So as of now, currently we are giving 8 GB of disk. Okay, free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 GB. So after 30 GB, it will be chargeable. So if I give 8 GB, it won't be chargeable. Okay, GP3, GP2, these are the type of volumes which are supported in AWS. So these two are most like chargeable. So these are too costly. This is the older part of GP3. So GP3 is updated version of GP2. Okay, I have selected that. So currently we will have one disk over our machine of 8 GB of disk. Okay, this is it. So if I go to advanced details, so these are not needed as of now. But let's suppose you want to set up some spot instance. I think I told you about spot instance. So spot instances are the instances which are there, like we can say these are the purge resources available in AWS, which AWS provide at cheaper cost. Okay, so they won't charge you like as much as they are charging for on demand. So basically there are two tiers, on demand and spot. So like on demand, yearly, and other parts. Like on demand is like whenever you select, you will pay for it. Yearly is like you book the instance type, and it will be yours whether you use it or not. You have to charge for that. So for spot instances, you can select here request spot instances at spot price. So here once you select spot instances, then you need to select a few of the details here, like shutdown behavior should be stop. These things should be selected. But yeah, these are just needed for spot instances. But for now, I'm going to create like basic one. That's why I'm selecting none here. Okay, I'm going to launch the instance. It will take a few seconds. Okay, so successfully initiated launch of instance. If I go there, you see the instance is created. It is up and running. Instance type is T2. It is initializing currently. No alarms are set. If I even click here, no alarms. So alarms are basically for monitoring. Like let's suppose if like memory consumption reach out to 100%, so it should throw some alarm via SES, SNS to like messages or emails. Availability zone. So availability zone, in which availability zone it is. US East 1 and B part there. What is the public IP DNS? What is the IP of this public IP? Whether or not elastic IP is attached, whether or not IPv6 is defined there. This is the private IP. So private IP is basically the IP which is allocated to it from the VPC. Monitoring is disabled, which security group is added, what is the key name which is attached to it, what is the launch time, what platform it is. Okay, so if I open it, So these are the details basically provided there. Okay, so if you see this key pair, so this key pair is available there, and if you see, if you go to key pairs here, network and security, you will be able to see there, but you won't be able to download it now. It can be downloaded only once, so it's your responsible to make it secure once you download it. If you lost it, then there are like few ways to connect to the machine, but those are just like workarounds. So like it's better to keep this key with you. Okay, now to how to connect to this machine. So this is up and running. There are multiple ways. One is via this EC2 instance connect. Okay, if I click on connect here, it will open one new tab. If you see, I'm connected to this machine. Okay, if I type who am I, Ubuntu, so this is currently an Ubuntu user, and if you want to see the whether this is that same machine or not, so if you see, what is the public IP? 386.24.239, 386.24.239. So this is the same machine. Okay, if I want to see the size of disk, so 8 GB, so 6.8 GB is provided out of 8 GB. So this is that 8 GB part. If I do free -h, so total 1 GB is provided, out of his 330 is in use, and this is free, this is buffer, and this is available. Okay, so this is how you can connect to this machine via this console. If you are not able to connect to this through this, and you want to connect to it via SSH client, then you can connect with it. But yeah, this session manager, for this session manager you have to set up as SSM agent over the machine. Okay, and then you can connect via it. But for connecting through the machine from your local, there is only one way, which is SSH client. So for connecting it to with SSH client, what you can do, you can copy this. So this will, what it is running the SSH command. -I is for providing the private key, the path of private key, the username, the public domain. Okay, public DNS. So EC2 -386.24.239. Even if you provide Ubuntu @ 3 dot like this IP only 3.86.24.239, it will work. Okay, so let me connect to that. Let me know when you are able to see my terminal.
Yes, brother, I'm able to see.
Okay,
Mm.
so it was downloaded inside my downloads folder. This was the, okay, this was the command. If I press this, it would throw me error. Okay, it is working. Yeah, it thrown me error. That is for unprotected private key file. Okay, this is because my key is too open. Okay, this private key is too open and it is not supposed to be. So if I do ls-la for my tutorial, it is too open. Okay, read is available for everyone, but read and write is available as well, but we don't want that. So what I will do is, I will do it 400 chmod 400. Chmod 400 means read will be just available for current user, and for others nothing will be available. Okay, so this is basically the permission which it should have. Now if I run the same command ssh-i, it will work. Okay, so now I'm connected to this Ubuntu machine. So if you see, out of this 6.7 GB, 25% of disk is used. Memory used is 20%. I'm currently at Ubuntu user. This is my private IP. If I go again curl ifconfig.me, this is my public IP. Okay, and as I mentioned, if I do Ubuntu at the rate public IP as well, either the public DNS or either the public IP. Okay, so I have provided the public IP and it worked. Okay, so this is how you can connect to this EC2 machine. Now let me go back to AWS. Okay, let me cover few other details there. So if you want to see the monitoring, like if you want to monitor how much CPU is utilized and other things like network in, network out, like how much network is we are getting and how much we are providing to outside world. So these are the places where we can see. So if you see CPU utilization is like machine is started here, so from 0 to 4% it increased. So we can track in that way. Here we have security group, the security group which we created. Okay, this was the security group for port 22 TCP protocol. Source was 000. So if I go there, so basically in security group we have two type of rules: inbound rules and outbound rules. So inbound rules are like who can access my machine. Okay, so like if I provided 000, so it means everyone from internet can access my 22 port. Okay, now outbound is like uh, what my machine can access. Okay, so it means all. So my machine can access everything. So in general you don't need to update this outbound rule because you don't want to make your machine not to use anything. So you can keep this, but inbound rule is like what you have to concerning about. So it is like never provide, like at least in production, never provide this rule: all traffic and this anywhere. It means all traffic, all port, anywhere. So this is like your machine is vulnerable to like attacks, because some attacker can come and they will put traffic over your unusual ports. Okay, that can make your machine uh, like threatable. So don't use this. This is fine, like SSH 22 from this. Even though in production machines we used to keep our VPN IPs there. Okay, so let's suppose we have one organization wide VPN, so we provide VPN IP there so that anywhere anyone over VPN can access it. But yeah, few things are there like HTTP and HTTPS. These should be anywhere. uh, HTTPS, these should be anywhere, and it is because at least HTTPS if you are not using HTTP protocol. So this is because let's suppose you set up some web application. Okay, you set up google.com over your machine. Now you want it to be accessible by everyone, right? You don't it like if it is in production you want everyone to access it. That's why you have to keep it 000. Okay, so that everyone can go to browser, type google.com, and they will see whatever you want. If you even want to block that it will be just accessible by one person or two-person, then you can provide the IP there. Okay, so this is how security group works. In networking you will see these public IP, private IP, VPC IP, VPC ID, sorry, public DNS. So this is DNS for this, private IP DNS, and the subnet ID. So it was the subnet which AWS selected, as we provided anyone. So it selected this. Now one network interface is created for every resource created, okay, with public IP. So this network resource is created which will map this IP with this IP. I have not attached any elastic IP. So purpose of elastic IP is to provide the IP which, so if you see this public IP, so this public IP, if we restart this, if we stop and start this machine, this public IP will get deallocated to us, okay. We will get some new IP address. So to remove that dependency, we can create elastic IP, and that IP will be assigned to our account. Now it's our responsibility to which resource we have to attach it, okay. So elastic IP is for that purpose. uh, if you have pursued for a spot instance, then your request will be visible here. Currently no speed, no spot fleet. If you request for spot instance, then your instance request and what is the like pricing of it, everything will be visible here, okay. So yeah, that's it. Do you have any queries?
So as of how, as of us, I don't have any queries, brother.